Now I'm going to talk about Doug Ruggerio, age 59. He was a great chef at restaurants such as La Cavale, Maxim's, and Le Chantilly in Manhattan. Heavily celebrated, trained in France, even seen on your public broadcasting system, PBS, as a chef. Truth is, he was a gangster, Mafia member, part of the Gambino family by blood, held great parties for the biggest mobsters in the 80s and 90s. He dealt in heroin, carjackings, loan sharking. He was a bookie. He did extortion and was involved in a lot of gruesome murders, including wrapping people so they can't move and throwing them in the water, beating people with lead pipes, all kinds of things, everything you can think of. Because they didn't want the FBI to catch on, they had these gangsters get jobs in various places, and he got a job in a restaurant and he started to like it. So he trained himself to be a better cook, and he stayed in the restaurant business and got lots of notoriety. Well, of course, all the big mobsters with all their flashy money were coming around him, so that's where the paparazzi go. And they were giving him much celebrity. In fact, he was just a murderer, a crook, a detriment to our society. In the past years, I don't know what they do now, but in the 80s, 90s, 70s, 50s, a lot of people who were in the gangland era, a lot of those restaurants served some of their victims. Some of the meat that they were selling, some of those steaks and so forth at those restaurants, were actually some of the people that were murdered. That's how one of the ways they could get rid of the bodies is shoving it through restaurants. So you remember that nice dark look in the restaurant with the, you know, dimly lit candle or very low lighting hanging on the wall? Well, those places were really just places to dispose of meat that came from victims. So he's one, and he's confessed all of this stuff. 1998, he was charged with credit card fraud. He would put on the bills of customers excessive charges. You know, when that bill comes back and it says tip, and some people leave it back blank? Well, he might put $30,000 in that tip area or some other number. And he was eventually caught and convicted, but they gave him a plea deal. He didn't even have to go to do serious time for that. I don't know if he did any time at all. But they did catch him doing that horrendous thing, and he is a free man. He says he regrets his past life, but that doesn't help his victims. That doesn't help all those people that he got on heroin, or all of those people he extorted, and so forth. So that's Mr. Doug Ruggerio. A life of crime, a life of torture, killing, beating. From Sicily, Italy, where he went to become a made man. They put a tattoo on his arm to do that. So he was part of the Sicilian Brotherhood. Please like and subscribe.